fantastic tool that we have here at 2020 Fit is our InBody tool, which basically tells you your body composition. And it's not perfect, but it gets us pretty darn close to helping us understand what part of our body is fat and what part of our body is muscle. So we don't love when people live and die by the scale, because it's not really indicative of your overall health. What is how much of this stuff you're carrying around muscle and how much of this stuff you're carrying around fat. So as I look through my scan, which I just did, I haven't done it in a while. So this is embarrassing on my part, because this is something that we should all be doing with some with some frequency. Now, when you first get started, most people come in and they're like, I don't want to know how fat I am or how little muscle I have or whatever. Nobody cares, one. Two, you want a line in the sand so that 6 months from now, a year from now, you can see how much progress you made. It's not, that first scan is not about looking at it and analyzing it. That is not the point of what you're going to see on my screen right now. It's over time, as you come in here and work your butt off and you're eating clean, you're doing all the right things, you're going to want to see improvements not only on your waistline or your energy or whatever it might be, but you want to see the data. So I encourage you, as you first get started, at some point early on, get a scan. You don't have to look at it, but just store the data there for later. So as I scroll through mine, the big thing that I look at, or the biggest thing that I look at, is muscle mass. I want to know how much meat you have on the bone. Everybody wants to know their body fat percentage, whatever. That's not the most relevant thing in the world. All things being equal, the more muscle you have, the higher metabolic rate's going to be. The more fat you're going to burn, the healthier you're going to be in the long run, the longer you're going to live, etc. So as we scroll through this InBody score is just comparing you to other people and whatnot. I don't look at that at all. Basal metabolic rate is the first place I look. So I burn about 2,000 calories a day sitting here doing nothing. It's what my body needs to just live. Okay. If I put out a little bit more than that, if I exercise or I spend a bunch of time outside, I'm going to burn more calories than this. So for me, I need to be eating at least 2,000 calories a day just to survive. If I want to lose weight, I need to think about how much calories I'm putting out, add the two together. So say I put out 1,000 calories a day. If I eat 3,000 calories a day, I'm going to maintain homeostasis. So say if I'm trying to lose weight, a pound of fat, this stuff here is 3,500 calories. So I'm not going to talk about calorie restrictive diet here, but you want to do the math. 3,500 calories is a pound of fat, and if you start pinching calories, which is not necessarily what I'm recommending, so I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. However, you're looking at, again, how many calories you need to eat in a given day. For me, it's about 2,000. So it's just something to keep an eye on. That's directly correlated to the amount of muscle you have on your body. My weight is where it is there. Skeletal muscle mass, this is where we go. So when somebody does a first scan, I don't care how much fat they have on them, because guess what? The next time you do that scan, I just want you to have less. So if you have 50 pounds of fat or whatever it is, we're going to try to find that number down. The number that we cannot have go down, which you've seen mine go down, since I started a running regimen, so I will recommend against that. I've lost 5 pounds of muscle since I stopped lifting weights. So I still lift weights, but I haven't been lifting like I usually do for a while, and you can see what happened here. So is that a good thing that I'm not lifting weights? No, because I've lost muscle. If I was only going off body weight, I'd think I was doing pretty darn well. Body fat mass. This is where I look at it and I go, hey, good job. You haven't been eating like an idiot. I've lost some fat, since last fall. So these two numbers, your skeletal muscle mass, your body fat mass, are basically what we're looking at. If you start losing muscle, no matter if you're also losing fat, things aren't going the right direction in the long term. For every 1 pound of muscle you have on your body, you're going to burn an extra 20 calories a day. That might not sound like much, but multiply 20 calories times a year, and that's about 7,000 extra calories that you're going to burn, which equates to 2 pounds of this stuff. So you didn't have to do anything. You gain that 1 pound of muscle. Over the course of a year, all things being equal, you're going to lose 2 pounds of fat. So we really push the notion of staying focused on how much muscle you have on your body, because that's the long term. Nobody comes to us for if you're coming to us for a 30-day fix, you're coming to the wrong place. This is not a 30-day, lose all the weight, everything is happy and great. This is a long-term program to make you healthy for the long haul. So as we look at this, we're looking at skeletal muscle mass. we want to make sure that's at least trending in the right direction. I know I'm within shooting range. If I focus a little bit for a month or two, I'll be able to get back to where I want to be. Fat-wise, I like seeing that number there. I've been a lot lower. You can see I've been 4 pounds lower than this prior. And guess what? At that time, I was also 5 pounds higher muscle-wise. So there might have been a little correlation. I was lifting weights, not doing so much cardio. There's a time and place. Anyway, I'm training for a long cardio event right now, so that's just where I am right now in my fitness journey. BMI, throw that out. It's a bunch of crap. Body mass index, toss it out. It's not relevant to our conversation. Body fat percentage. Again, people are interested in this. They want to see what their body fat percentage is. It's not the most relevant thing in the world to your overall health. We want to see the muscle number continue to climb, and we want to see that fat number, drop off as much as safely possible. Visceral fat. This is a big one. This is the fat that surrounds your internal organs, okay? So think heart, liver, lungs. If you have a bunch of fat around those areas, you could be super lean looking, but under the hood, things might not be so good. So what we're looking for is like something under a 5 or 6 for a visceral fat level. If you have high visceral fat, there's stress involved in your life. You probably sleep like crap. You probably consume, you probably do well maybe on carbohydrates, refined sugars and whatnot, and you don't store them like a lot of people do on their hips or on their belly. You store them around your organs, which can be scary, and we want to use this as an opportunity to look underneath the hood. So nutrition is what's going to bring that in check. Not necessarily exercise is going to help, but what you put in your mouth is a huge component. Total body water. So this is kind of just looking at how much water you're carrying around. I look more at the intracellular and extracellular water. Intracellular water is how much water you're actually absorbing into your cells. The extracellular water is the fluff. It's the puffiness. It's the inflammation around your joints that we want to minimize. And as I look at mine, it's not good right now. I'm inflamed. Did I mention I'm doing a lot of running? So again, good for my weight loss goals right now, but not good for my overall inflammation markers, which you see the ECW ratio is your extracellular water ratio to total body water, and mine's spiked pretty high, which is indicative of somebody that's beating themselves up a little bit too much. So I look at this and I go, can't wait for this race to be over so I can get back to health. And then your skeletal muscle mass index, that again is kind of looking at what is optimal for you and for me. I need to gain a little bit of muscle for me to be like fully optimal. I don't put too much weight on that. Really the 3 things that I'll look at on here are the skeletal muscle mass, as I mentioned. And I'll try to pound that over your head. The other one is body fat mass. I haven't met anybody who wants to have too much more. So we want to be chipping away at that. And then the other piece is just kind of understanding the water content in your body, how much you're storing as fluff, as inflammation, and not getting into your cells. So that's a quick rundown on it. The biggest highlight is just do the scan. You don't have to like the data, but you don't have to look at the data. That's the nice thing about this. You don't have to download this app. You do the scan and just let it sit there. And then 6 months from now, you're like, hey, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm liking the way my pants are fitting, whatever it is. And if you want some affirmation on the progress that you're making, then you start looking into this little bad boy. And again, I clicked, so it'll bring you to the dashboard, but I click on history so I can see kind of where I've been, for better, for worse, and where I want to go from here. So do the InBody, like it, loathe it, whatever it is. It's going to give you some data that will be valuable, if not now, certainly in the future.